can ask too.
Is that good enough? Sound was sitting all right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is Shannon Phillips, and this is
Milton Rayburn.
I'm doing a Southern Foodways for Anna Schuber from the University of Alabama, and we're doing oral histories on Southern foods. So, can you tell me your name?
My name Milton Rayburn.
And Milton, how old are you?
I'm 89.
89. Where'd you grow up, Milton?
I grew up in Alabama City, Alabama.
All right. Well, we've chatted a little bit before we started recording, and I wanted to talk to you about the foods that you had when you were growing up. You know, y'all raised all your food, right?
Mostly, yeah. Everything but the flour.
Everything but the flour.
Yeah.
So where'd y'all get your flour?
I mean, flour, sugar, and salt. We didn't do that. You know, we had to buy that from the store. But we buy it in big bags. You know, 10-pound bags. It usually lasts most of the winter. You know.
Okay. So what kind of foods did y'all grow?
We had green beans and sweet potatoes, iced potatoes, English peas. They planted English peas in the February, so they'd be ready by springtime coming. You know, they grew when nothing else would grow. And iced potatoes too. You plant them in February, where we'd have iced potatoes all summer.
Iced potatoes?
Yeah, iced potatoes.
What's an iced potato?
Irish
potato. Okay.
Iced potato.
It's like you baked potato.
Yeah, well, Anna was saying something. They were calling them arse potatoes.
Yeah, we call them iced potatoes.
All right. Now, you were saying something just a minute ago about hilling potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Yeah.
What'd you call that now?
We call it hilling potatoes. We hilled our sweet potatoes for the winter.
And so, tell me about that. How'd y'all do that? We
grew our sweet potatoes, and when they got ready to plow up, we plowed them up. And then we built a frame, our platform out there in the field on the ground, and put sawdust down and then hay down. Then we'd take the potatoes and let them stay out about a week, and then laying in the sun. Then we'd put them lay them all in a hill and side by side. Then we'd put hay over that and put a pipe down through the top of it and put a cover on the top where it wouldn't come down, the rain wouldn't come down. And
the pipe was for
air. That was to get air so they'd breathe.
Okay. And you said your iced potatoes, you put those where?
We put those in the smokehouse on the floor. Laid them on the floor where it'd be cool in there. They stayed there. It wasn't of course, we didn't have enough usually to grow last all winter because we ate a lot of iced potatoes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We had fried potatoes and beans and cornbread and some kind of ham or we called it white meat then. We called it sow belly. But that was our prominent thing. That we had... Back then, when I was growing up and a kid, you could buy white meat for 3 cents a pound.
3 cents a pound.
Yeah, you could go to the store and buy it for 3 cents a pound if you didn't have a hog you killed. But we killed hogs every winter, every fall of the year, when it got cold enough to hang them up. We'd kill them and clean them and wash them and hang them up on the tree and let them hang all night before we cut them up so they drain and bleed good, you know.
Right.
So we had our hams smoked. They put, we called it sugar cure on them. You could buy it at the store. You could rub a sugar cure on them and hang them in there and smoke them, and then they'd be just like sugar cured hams all winter. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's hanging in the smokehouse?
Yeah.
So, now, what, you said y'all killed those in the winter?
Yeah, I killed them in the fall of the year when it started getting cold, when it frosted. When it frosted, we killed a hog.
And so, when did you get to eat the meat?
We started eating it any time we wanted. Of course, we cooked when we cleaned the hog. We took all the fat, most of the fat, and fat stuff, and put it in a wash pot, and cooked the grease out of it, and used the lard. We called it lard, and then we had them in 5-gallon buckets in the kitchen. And they had their lard right there all the time. Then we put up sausage. They cooked the sausage, put it in churns and pour that grease over it and save it for all winter. They could just dig down in there when they wanted it for breakfast. They'd dig down in that grease and pull out the sausage and warm it up. We were ready to eat.
All right. So did they use what else do you remember them using the lard in?
Well, they used lard in everything, you know.
Yeah, we like lard.
yeah, oh yeah.
It went into beans. It went
in everything you cooked. That was
cooked.
a lard. They didn't have nothing but lard. Unless Mama had a little extra butter, she might put in some things, you know. Like a fried chicken, she'd fry her chicken a lot of times in butter.
Oh yeah. So, what were what were some other meats did y'all eat? Did y'all ever do any like deer or fishing or?
Back when I grew up, there wasn't no deer. No deer in that country. No, not down nowhere around. They brought the deer in from up north somewhere and brought them down. And first deer I ever saw or heard of them putting up was down in Payne Lake. You know where Payne Lake's at? Not Payne Lake now. It's Bibb County Lake now.
Yeah, Bibb County Lake.
Yeah.
Which is right down south where we're at right here.
Yeah. That was the first time I ever heard of saw a deer when I moved down to this part of the country.
And how old were you then?
16.
Wow. And now they're everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, running over everything.
So did y'all have rabbit or squirrel?
Yeah, we hunted rabbit in the wintertime. Me and my brother, we go out and hunt rabbits and squirrel. We'd hunt squirrel early in the morning, then we'd hunt rabbits after the sun come up. That's about all the meat. We had chicken and hog, and we didn't have no beef. I didn't know what steak was till I was grown. We didn't have no beef because they didn't kill cows. They milked them, you know.
Yeah. So did y'all have milk cows?
Yeah, we had milk cow. I milked one, Daddy milked one. We had 2 milk cows, and I milked a cow and he milked one.
Did y'all have goats?
No, we didn't have no goats.
So how did y'all store the milk then? I mean, I guess y'all had indoor refrigerators or stuff like that.
No, we had if you had milk, you wanted to save, but there's always a spring around, or if you let it down in the well on a rope and put it in a jar and set it down in there and let it stay cold in that well.
Oh. Okay.
You save the milk that way.
Okay. So, what was some of the favorite things that your mother made for you? What were some of the favorite dishes that you remember? Gives you those fond, warm, fuzzy memories.
Oh, well, the best thing of course, we was always hungry back then, you know. And when Mama always cooked some kind of beans, some kind of meat, and cornbread or biscuit, and you know, them things were like that was what we really enjoyed eating was the beans and potatoes and meat.
Was there anything that she cooked, like, that you knew that when she cooked that, somebody special was coming by,
Yeah.
or you were going to have company?
Yeah, oh yeah, she always cooked a big coconut cake, or made a pie. She always liked banana pies if you could get bananas, but we just very seldom ever get bananas. But she always made some kind of pie or cake all the time. We had that was our standard. When you got through eating, you had some sweets. You had one piece of cake and that was it.
Oh.
You know, she'd cut it for you too. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give the boys a chance to cut it, did it?
The boys
They'd eat the whole cake.
That's right, but we always had cake and pie or something for dinner, you know. But we didn't have enough for supper now. She wouldn't let us eat cake at supper time.
Ask him about that. Explain what breakfast, dinner, and supper meant to you.
Well, breakfast, you know, that's when you get up at daylight every morning.
Yeah.
And dinner time was at 12 o'clock.
Dinner
Supper.
was at 12, okay.
Supper was at night. We always had, usually Mama cooked enough cornbread for we could have milk and cornbread for supper. We called it whatever you want to eat. And I mean, that's what you had. But we always we didn't go, if something left over and somebody wanted it, why, it was left eat, you know. But we didn't have no way to save it.
So, how many brothers and sisters were there?
I had 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
All right. Were there distinct duties around food that the girls did versus what the boys did?
No, the girls usually didn't do much except work in the field when it got big enough, but the boys, they always had to work. When you were big enough to walk, you had to work, had a job to do, you know. That's like me. When I started growing up and I got 8 or 10 years old, I had to milk a cow. And you got to learn how to milk a cow.
That's not something you just start out learning.
No, you don't. You don't just start milking a cow right away because there's a trick. There's a trick to it, you know.
So the girls didn't have like preparing the meals. Did they? Do
they
most
help.
of that,
Yeah, they help prepare meals a lot of time when they get big enough. If they didn't get Mama's way.
So your mama liked to do the cooking.
Yeah, Mama wanted to do the cooking.
Kept everybody out of the kitchen.
That's right.
So did she teach you and the boys and your sisters? Did she teach them how to cook, or?
She taught them how to cook, but she didn't teach the boys. She was expecting when he got married, let the wife teach them how to cook, you know.
Yeah. Or that they'd cook for them.
Yeah. she always made rhubarb. You ever heard of rhubarb?
No. What is rhubarb?
That's a tropical plant that I don't know where it comes from, but Mama used to get a rhubarb and make a rhubarb pie. Now that's something that's really good. A rhubarb pie.
Rhubarb pie.
Uh-huh.
So did y'all have that often?
It was like a custard, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or was that just something
that
special?
That was just something special. She growed it in. She had it in a bucket and grew it in a bucket.
Oh.
And she kept it in the house, and in summertime she set it out on the porch in the sun.
So now, what year were you born?
1923.
1923. So do you remember anything during the Depression years? Do you remember, I mean, did y'all feel that?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was old enough to remember, see.
Yeah.
But our family was, my daddy, he was helped carpenter and build a Goodyear rubber plant up there, and all the houses around it. Back then they built houses for the employees, you know, the rubber plant did.
Uh-huh.
They built a house, and then they'd take it so much out of their pay each month for it. Like, that's what my daddy done. Just, he wasn't old enough to do much, you know. Didn't have no trade except he was a farmer. But other than that, that's what he done, just to keep us going, you know.
Mm-hmm. So when the Depression, do you remember rations and things like that?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of things do you remember about the rations, the food rations?
Well, it didn't start till the war started, the food rationing didn't. But
that would have been, what, about 1935? Somewhere along in there about when the rationing started?
No, about 39, 40. Because we used to, of course, food wasn't rationed, but it was scarce. You know, everybody had to feed their own kids. I mean, everybody you didn't pile in on nobody and eat.
Right.
Because nobody didn't have plenty back then.
Right.
Well, what Mama would cook, she always cooked butter beans or pinto beans or what we call navy beans. There's a white bean.
Mm-hmm.
And
help stretch it.
Yeah. She'd cook one day and one the next day. Green beans, and summertime we ate green beans every day. She had a big iron pot. She'd fill that pot full of, go get the beans and what do we call snapping them up. Snap the green beans. Put them in that pot, fill that pot full, and put them on the stove and let them sit there and cook. And we had them every day in the summertime because we had plenty of beans, green beans. And in the wintertime, we ate the dry beans a lot.
Ask about the folks out.
Yeah, so, earlier we were talking about salads in the springs. Tell me about poke salad. You were telling me something about that.
Oh yeah, we had that was a standard thing for us. And every spring, we had poke salad. When poke salad came up, Mama would pick poke salad, and we had it 2 days in a row, every once in a while, so to keep our blood clean. That's what they said, to keep your blood clean. That's why she had to making us eat it, I guess. I don't know.
But it grows wild, doesn't it, Milton?
Yeah, it grows wild. It comes up from it's a fungus, what it is.
Yeah. And it's full of iron, apparently.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? And it was kind of a home remedy.